Welcome to Story Time with Doraemon. And today we are going to be reading a story called Mr. Noisy by Roger Hangover. What the far did Doraemon? Why are you reading this book on me? Because it's funny. I read it on my old account, so now I am reading it on here. Doraemon's nose is close up. Yes, let's begin reading Mr. Noisy by Roger Hangover. Mr. Noisy was a very, very noisy person indeed. For example, if Mr. Noisy was reading this book to you, if Mr. Noisy was reading this story to you, he'd be shouting at the top of his voice. And the top of Mr. Noisy's voice is a very loud place indeed. You can hear it 100 miles away. This is really loud. For example, when most people sneeze, you can hear it in the next room, but a tissue. When Mr. Noisy sneezes, you can hear it in the next country. You have to delete your sinus if you... Good thing he deleted his sinus now. This story starts when Mr. Noisy was asleep in bed in his bedroom in his house, which is on top of a hill. He was snoring, and as you can well imagine, when Mr. Noisy snores, that is a snore worth hearing. It sounds more like a herd of elephants that is snore. Then Mr. Noisy's alarm clock went off. Mr. Noisy's alarm clock sounds like no other alarm clock in this world. It sounds like a fire engine. Mr. Noisy woke up, and as too did all the people who lived in Wobbletown. This is not Wobbletown. As the people lived in Wobbletown, which is at the bottom of Mr. Noisy's hill. I don't think you'll have to read this story anymore, because this is explosive. Later that day, Mr. Noisy decides that he had to go shopping. He went out of his house, shutting the door behind him. Bang! The door wobbled, the house wobbled, the whole hill wobbled. Wobbled down, wobbled, even a bird flying high above wobbled. You have to delete the sinus. Where's he gonna shop it? Then Mr. Noisy walked down the hill. Clump, clump, clump. He walked into the baker shop. Crash! With the door as he opened it. Bang! With the door as he shut it. I'd like a loaf of bread, boomed Mr. Noisy to Mrs. Crumb, the baker's wife. Mrs. Crumb trembled. His soul. What in the actual world? That word is funny. Alright then. Then Mr. Noisy walked down the street to the butcher. Clump, clump, clump. Clump, clump, clump. He walked in the butcher shop. Crash! Went the door as he opened it. Bang! With that door as he shut it. I'd like a piece of meat! Moved at Mr. Noisy to Mr. Bacon the butcher. Mr. Bacon trembled and sold him some farmed meat. No, not farmed. Afterwards, Mrs. Crumb met Mr. Bacon in the street. We really must do something about Mr. Noisy being so noisy, she said. Absolutely, replied Mr. Bacon, but what? I know, said Mrs. Crumb, and she whispered into Mr. Bacon's ear. Mr. Bacon smiled a small smile, which grew into a broad grin. Mrs. Crumb, he said, I think you have to answer. What's the plan? I think they're going to put earmuffs on so Mr. Noisy is loud, and eventually he will be impressed with the freaks. So eventually, why am I so blurry? Delete this site. The following day, Mr. Noisy again went shopping down in Wobbletown. Clump, clump, clump. He went into Mrs. Crumb's shop. I'd like a loaf of bread, he boomed. Sorry, what did you say? Asked Mrs. Crumb, pretending not to hear. I'd like a loaf of bread, Mr. Noisy shouted. Sorry, said Mrs. Crumb, putting her hand out to her ear. Can you speak up, please? I'd like a loaf of bread. Roared Mr. Noisy. Can't hear you, replied Mrs. Crumb. Mr. Noisy gave up and exploded my pieces. He went out. I'm sorry. Mr. Noisy went into Mr. Bacon's shop. I'd like a piece of meat, he boomed. Mr. Bacon pretended not to notice. I'd like a piece of meat, Mr. Noisy shouted. Did you say something? Asked Mr. Bacon. I said I'd like a piece of meat. Pardon, Mr. Noisy. Pardon, said Mr. Bacon. Mr. Noisy gave up and went home and went to bed hungry. My God, he's so funny. The day after Mr. Noisy tried again, he went into Mrs. Crumb's shop. I'd like a loaf of bread, he boomed. A what? Asked Mrs. Crumb. Mr. Noisy started shouting at the very top of his voice. A loaf of... And then he stopped. And then he thought. And then he said quietly, I'd like a loaf of bread, please, Mrs. Crumb. Mrs. Crumb smiled. Certainly. Good thing he learned his lesson. Then Mr. Noisy went into Mr. Bacon's shop. I'd like a piece of meat, he boomed. Did you say something? Asked Mr. Bacon. Yes, I did, shouted Mr. Noisy at the very top of his voice. I said I'd like a... And then he stopped and he thought. And then he said quietly, I'd like a piece of meat, please, Mr. Bacon. Mr. Bacon smiled. My pleasure, he said. So carrying his bread and the meat, Mr. Noisy set off for home up the hill. Clump, clump, clump. And then he stopped. Then he thought, do you know what he did? He tiptoed. I can't believe my ears, he tiptoed. A tiptoe was something Mr. Noisy had never tried before. It was fun. Mr. Noisy arrived at his front door. He put out his hand to open the door, and then he stopped. And then he thought, and then do you know what he did? He opened the door very quietly. He stepped inside, and then he shut the door very gently. Quietly and gently were two things Mr. Noisy had never tried before either. That was fun, too. It's the unfortunate six of man. And do you know something? From then until now, Mr. Noisy isn't anything as noisy as he used to be. Do you know something else? The people of Wobbletown are delighted. Especially Mrs. Crumb and Mr. Bacon. Do you know something else? Mr. Noisy has learned how to whisper. What in the far? Doraemon? Why don't you just read that story again? It's very funny in my opinion. I felt like reading it because I'd like a piece of meat. This is just so epic. But Mr. Noisy's finishing, he's doing his Squishmallow notebooks. Mine fun. Why would you ever do that? Why are you singing Goodnight Sardine again? I did not know. I just felt like singing that song because it's the freaks that makes you say I'd like a piece of meat. But anyways, you need to explode your Nikes once again. Write a book. I think I've got a spew Nike now. This is weak, but give me the alpha blocks. Give me my block and my Steve is. Did you just ruin my explosive tape now? It's some good epic now, but I need to jump over my makeup. 1, 2, 3, boom. Like a piece of meat.